it's Rachel here with Senza Corso. Hello, sweet baby. So I'm here with the Mona litter, and these guys are so beautiful. Boo, boo, boo. So beautiful. This is, like I said, Mona and Batista. These guys are just starting to kind of start to come out of their shells and really show their personalities. Hey, sweet baby. So that one there for the first time, y'all. Now, I don't want to curse it because who knows, but this might be the first blue puppy that I've ever kept. I am leaning more towards her. She's got really good bone, really good structure, and I really like the width of her muzzle. Looks really good. Sorry if it's not super clear. Yeah, I really like the width of her muzzle. Pretty girl. Pretty girl. Hey, baby. You're too cute. You're too cute. Pretty boy. And so anyway, really, really super. I love this male too, by the way. He has one of the best heads in the litter. And so anyway, little finite details. Like I said, I do need to stack them out, but from what I've been able to see so far, the structure is really good. So I'm seeing fronts, I'm seeing rears, I'm seeing top lines all day, croups, all of it. I'm not... What are you doing? What are you doing, baby boy? There's really not a lot to work on as far as the body's concerned from what I've seen so far. Now, granted, like I said, I haven't stacked them out yet, so I'm going to have to do that before I can really say for sure. But just from watching them whenever I put food down or water, and they kind of, they have a tendency to self-stack as they're waiting or as they're kind of reaching for their food. And I mean, you can even see like that fawn female there, that top line is it's just fantastic. I can see that from here. So I'm really very impressed. I absolutely got exactly what I was expecting out of the bodies of this litter. The heads, I don't really know what I was expecting. Reese and I basically were kind of like really looking at Mona's pedigree and trying to figure out, like kind of what is in there, because these dogs can have variation based on, their different lines. And so you may look at a head and think you know what it's going to do, and then it'll do something really different. And so I've kind of learned not to... You can try to predict, but it just isn't... It isn't super... I would say reliable unless you have a better... and more thorough understanding of the lines and the dogs in the lines, because as a lot of people say, you're not breeding the parents, you're breeding the grandparents. So taking that into consideration, I was looking at some pictures of a dog by the name of Faro Olimpo, which is Mona's father, and I was able to see that really and truly Mona is a variation of her father, specifically her head. And so I'm seeing that in these puppies. So Faro Olimpo is not a hyper-type dog, but there are elements that are I would say like I think, and I'd have to look at him to be sure, but I want to say that he has a lot of stop, probably a little bit more than we would like. And there is a slight bit of narrowness in the muzzle. It's not like a narrow muzzle. I want to be very clear on it. It's not a narrow muzzle, but it's kind of what you see in some of these pups. So, excuse me. So anyway, going, taking that into consideration, for me, I wanted to be, because the bodies are so good, I knew that my selection process was going to have to be based upon things that are, like, you know, once you have the body, then you need to be looking at, okay, well, you know, what is wrong? What, you know what I mean? What in this litter, you know, if I had to look for a fault, what would it be? Because it's not in the bodies. And I would say, well, you know, there's a variation in the width of the muzzles. There's a little bit of roundness in the eyes. You know, there's some features that lend themselves to be slightly of a variation that isn't necessarily the way we that I would say is like correct for the breed. Now, you guys know that I'm not usually a stickler on that, or I wouldn't have bred Blondie. So there's lots of different, you know, traits and variations and things like that. So I don't want to say, or nor am I implying that just because a dog doesn't have the best head, or that the head isn't as great as, say, like Kubrick, that means it shouldn't be bred. Because if we had our standards that high, we just wouldn't have a breed, right? Because there's very few dogs that really meet that standard. But like I said, when you're trying to be the best breeder you can, and when you've got a litter where the structure is really good, then you have to start narrowing it down through other means. And so for me, that comes down to the head. And so when I look for, well, what is a potential fault of this litter, and it would be, well, you know, there is some variation in the muzzle width. You better quit that. So this blue girl here has a very nice wide muzzle. This brindle girl here has she's actually I think she might be the biggest. This girl was the biggest, but she might be the biggest now. Now the male weighs the most. When we weighed him, he weighed the most. So he's gonna be a monster. But having said that, these two girls definitely have the widest muzzles. And then the fawn girl, I don't mind her muzzle. And then this girl here, hers is definitely a little bit more narrow, but still, oddly enough, they're not going to be narrow like Blondie muzzles. They're all going to have nice wide muzzles, just some wider than others. Now, one thing I really like about this blue girl is that she's very dominant. And I really like that about her. She's super no nonsense. Whenever I brought her out and I was kind of trying to, you know, do some temperament testing on them and kind of see what I'm working with, she had no fear when I brought her out. She didn't care that she hardly, you know, was familiar with that, with, you know, the living room and stuff like that. Sometimes it's totally normal for a puppy to react in a fearful way when you first take them out of their litter box or in their whelping box, because they've never been outside of it. So it might as well be in Mars. But she did very well. And anyway, I'm super impressed with her personality. I'm super impressed with her bone, with her size, with her muzzle. And so, you know, she may be the first blue dog I've ever had not first blue dog I've ever had. I've had other like variations of blue, so like blue brindle, but I've never had a solid blue dog before. So that's kind of cool. And I'm, you know, like I said, I'm hoping that she gets to be the one. But look how tough she is. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look how tough she is. She's tough. You want to fight? Do 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 you want to fight me? Do you want to catch his hands? Do you want? Oh, you want to fight? Do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? Oh, you want to fight? Do you want to fight? She's always ready for a fight, dude. Always ready for a fight. Always. And I just love that. I love the feisty puppies. Feisty. 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 She's trying to take me on, y'all. 5-week-old puppy. And she's like, I can take you. I can take you. Look at this one's a little bit sweeter. But this one. But not this one. And not this one. This one's ready to fight. You want to fight? Do you want to fight? See, look at this one. She's like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So anyway, well, I gotta get downstairs and help Reese. What are you doing? Serena is in labor. She's having Grimm's puppies right now. So I'm gonna get down there and help out. But I figured I would get a little video in between puppies. So talk to you later. Bye.